Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about the curse of Bikini Bottom and Squidward in Clarinetland. First, I'm going to talk about the curse of Bikini Bottom. Enjoy! In the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob and Patrick, out of boredom, invade Squidward's shed and inform him that they want to play with his lawnmower. Squidward, out of hope that they kill themselves using it, lends the lawnmower to the two, and they start riding it. However, eventually the two get out of control, and they end up in the cemetery. Underground, the Flying Dutchman is trying to pick out a shirt for his date, and finally finds one. Then, the two run over the grave many times shaking the ground, and dirt gets all over the Dutchman's shirt. The green pirate ghost comes up, only to get his beard shaved off by the mower. The Dutchman becomes furious, so he stops SpongeBob and Patrick and starts yelling at them for their foolishness. The pair feel guilt at ruining the Dutchman's image, as SpongeBob explains they do not know what it is like to be a ghost. Therefore, the Dutchman turns them into ghosts until his beard grows back. The two fly over to Squidward's garden, where they try to scare Squidward, but are sprayed by his hose. Once it is nighttime, SpongeBob picks up his key, but it falls through him. He leans on the door, and he falls through. Therefore, SpongeBob goes through the walls and doors to get to his bedroom. When he lays down, he falls through many floors, and eventually ends up underground. The next morning, it reveals that both of them did not get enough sleep, as Patrick could see through his eyelids. SpongeBob goes to the Krusty Krab for work, and Mr. Krabs, after seeing that he is a ghost, asks if he can still make Krabby Patties and sends him to the kitchen. SpongeBob picks up his spatula, but like his house key, it falls through. SpongeBob then breaks it, and its ghost comes out. However, when he flips patties, they fall through his spatula. He tries this repeatedly, but the spatula went straight through the patty and one of the patties burned. He goes straight through the door, sobbing. Patrick has problems, too, explaining that the food goes right through him, grossing Mr. Krabs and Squidward out. Therefore, SpongeBob and Patrick decide to go to the cemetery to visit the Dutchman. When they get there, they plead the Dutchman to turn them back to normal, so he does, but does not succeed. The Dutchman says the curse will not wear off until his beard grows back for his date, so SpongeBob and Patrick decide to give him a makeover. At the end, SpongeBob himself replaces the Dutchman's beard. Several months later, SpongeBob and Patrick have been returned to normal and SpongeBob wonders how the Dutchman and his new girlfriend are doing. Just after saying this, the Dutchman comes up to them and reveals that his girlfriend wants to marry him, but claims that he's not the marrying type. Then popping out of the horizon of the background is a giant, horrifying monster, which is apparently the Dutchman's date, and causes the Dutchman to scream and fly away, as the episode ends. Next, I'm going to talk about Squidward in Clarinetland. Enjoy! Squidward arrives at the Krusty Krab as happy as ever because of his upcoming clarinet recital. He repeatedly gets pummeled, such as Incidental 64's morning breath punching him in the face, or getting the door slammed on him, but since his clarinet is safe in a suitcase, he is happy. But when Incidental 46 comes to the Krusty Krab, and her baby drools on the clarinet, Squidward becomes furious. He demands Mr. Krabs to give him a place to store his stuff. Mr. Krabs gives him his navy locker, and SpongeBob single-handedly cleans it. He stores his toothbrush in the locker, while Squidward puts his clarinet in it, not risking it getting soiled before his presentation. While Squidward is going through his daily routines, he discovers SpongeBob is always doing something to the locker. In fear for his clarinet, he goes to see what happens, and leaves change on the floor when he was giving it to a customer. Just then, Mr. Krabs jumps out wildly and acts like a gorilla, scaring everyone away from the loose change. When Squidward crawls inside the locker, it is revealed that SpongeBob had converted it into a whole room, and the second time he visits it, he finds his clarinet gone, as SpongeBob relocated it elsewhere, and goes looking for it. He discovers a small door near the floor and crawls through it, only to enter a mysterious forest made of clarinets. He spots his clarinet just before he is picked up by a large eagle head, the keeper of the Horned Forest, or Clarinetland, who tells him to learn respect, to grant peace to clarinets, and that a clarinet cannot be owned. Feeling intimidated, he claims he has learned respect and tries to escape, but the keeper refuses to believe him and swallows him. Squidward then finds himself chasing SpongeBob for his clarinet into a giant pinball machine, where a gigantic Patrick finds Squidward as a prize. Squidward asks how Patrick got so big, and Patrick simply responds that it must be the pressure. Suddenly, a vacuum sucks up Squidward and explodes. Squidward is now finding himself chasing SpongeBob literally through space, finally grabs him, and returns to inside the locker. Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob return to the kitchen, and Squidward realizes that it was just a dream. SpongeBob reveals to Squidward that he had the clarinet the whole time after seeing Squidward upset. Before Squidward goes to the presentation, he locks SpongeBob into the locker as payback for stealing his clarinet. However, at the presentation, he finds SpongeBob in his case, and runs from the stage right before the presentation, revealing that SpongeBob was just giving him the clarinet. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.